Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
Welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all can join us once again. But for our radio audience here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all could be with us. Also, tuning in to our online affiliates around the world, including our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast. We're glad you all could be with us as well. This is part of our News You Can Use segment here at WYAD. September, among other things, is recognized as Cholesterol Educational Month. So today we're talking about the connection between our cholesterol and, of course, the impact on heart attacks and strokes. As many as 1 in 4 heart attack or stroke survivors will have a repeat event. And according to the American Heart Association, managing risk factors can help prevent a second attack. However, some conditions like high cholesterol show no symptoms, and many people may not know their levels are too high. Here to talk to us more about what you guys need to know, we're excited to welcome Dr. Michelle A. Albert to our program. She's going to help you guys know some of the ways to manage your levels, as well as where you all can get more information. Dr. Albert, thank you again for the time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Cyrus. I'm honored to be here.
Well, look, we're glad to have you, and this is such an important topic. And as I mentioned, September is recognized as Cholesterol Educational Month. So let's start there. I mean, what are 3 ways that our audience can manage their own cholesterol levels?
Absolutely, Cyrus. So I want to, again, reframe your question slightly because, managing your cholesterol is particularly important for persons who've had a heart attack or a stroke already. And, once you've had a heart attack or stroke, as you mentioned, you're at between 25 to 50% higher risk of having another heart attack or stroke. Many persons think that once they've had their heart attack and they've had an angioplasty, that is the balloon procedure to open blood vessels and put a stent in, that they're cured of their heart disease. But that's absolutely not true. You do need to manage your risk factors like your cholesterol. To manage your cholesterol, the first thing that happens after you have a heart attack or stroke is your doctor will put you in a cholesterol-lowering medicine called a statin. It is really, really important to be adherent to all of your medicines that your doctor puts you on. And also to know your cholesterol levels or your lipid profile. Your lipid profile has 4 components to it. It's your total cholesterol must be less than 200. Your LDL cholesterol needs to be less than 70. Your HDL cholesterol needs to be above 50. And your triglycerides need to be less than 150. And you need to be relentless about having your numbers tightly controlled. And that is in part done by medications, but also you need to have the adequate diet. Diet is very, very important. You need to focus on a nourishing, healthy diet that emphasizes fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds and lean protein and fish. If you're allergic to seafood, then focus on really lean protein, trying to avoid red meats, trying to avoid fatty meats. The last thing is really also increasing your physical activity levels. It is important to walk or do some form of exercise at least 5 days a week for 30 minutes to 45 minutes. If you live in a neighborhood or an environment where it's difficult to walk around because of crime or safety issues, please develop a buddy system with friends and family where you can walk perhaps at a YMCA or in the court of a school gym, preferably outdoors, but if not, indoors.
Really practical tips there, Dr. Albert, and I think that's what's so great about having you here to show us that, because a lot of times, we think these are things that are so difficult for us to do, but it really is about changing our perspective about it, but also being proactive when it comes to our health. So what other steps can our audience take then to keep their hearts healthy? I know you mentioned diet, you mentioned exercise. Are there other things they should keep in mind as well?
Absolutely. So one of the biggest risk factors for having a heart attack or a stroke if you've never had one, or having another heart attack or stroke if you've already had one, is actually making sure you control your blood pressure. Blood pressure control rates vary in the country, and they're not great. So also knowing your numbers there, your blood pressure should be 120 over 80 or less, and you need to, again, be very relentless around making sure that those numbers are what I just mentioned on this program. The other thing is quitting smoking immediately regardless of if you've had a heart attack or stroke. Persons who've had a heart attack or stroke, who have had a stent placed, your stent can clog up because of your smoking, which means that the medications you're taking for managing your blood pressure, cholesterol, or so forth are being counteracted by the clogging. The other two things would be ensuring that you get adequate sleep, between 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night, and also that you're managing your stress. And in terms of managing the stress, physical activity helps to manage stress. And I would say that for persons who feel overwhelmed by stress or anxiety or depression, they should not be afraid to seek professional help. Speak to your primary care doctor to get connected with the appropriate resources.
Really great information, and it seems like really it is about, as you mentioned here, Dr. Albert, the importance of knowing our numbers, making sure that we're keeping those things checked, but also having that communication with our physician as well. So important. Again, everyone, Michelle A. Albert has been our guest. We've been talking with Dr. Albert not only about, of course, what you all need to know about cholesterol, because it is Cholesterol Education Month, but also, especially for those who have had a heart attack or stroke, what you all need to know to make sure that you do not have a repeat attack. Dr. Albert, where can our audience go for more information?
Absolutely. The American Heart Association has a wealth of resources that persons can access. Go to heart.org and as well, heart.org/cholesterol.
Dr. Albert, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate you stopping by, and looking forward to having you back on the program again.
Thank you, Cyrus, and I would be honored to be back in the program again.
All right, then, and we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live, and let's go make today amazing. Take care.